Hello, members of the VRChat community. Kazey here. It's phenomenal to be with you here today. It's an honor and privilege. It's a privilege because you control the future of VRChat. It's why you deal with all the toxic players, the world crashers, the ear rapists on a daily basis. It's to get to the good stuff. Now, what is the good stuff? The good stuff is answering the greatest question of our time. And I'll say we have to get this question right. The question is, why is VRChat filled with toxic players and memes with Knuckles being at the forefront? How did this happen? Now, if you watch YouTube, you might get a cocktail of answers. Uganda, lollies, FBI, traps, and furries. But the numbers tell a different story, and I'm a numbers guy. The reason Knuckles is our most famous meme is that we cloned him over 4 million times in the pub, the presentation room, the box, the room of the rain, and in the Void Club. We're here together in Japantown, the hub of all weeb worlds. And what we did to Knuckles, we'll now do to lolly avatars, pretty boy avatars, cat girl avatars, furry avatars, and on through the worlds. Now, how many of you noticed your favorite worlds disappearing or breaking around you? I know you all have visited countless worlds. And why is this happening to our worlds? One word answer. Oculus. Oculus is soaking up $20 billion in headpats every single year, and how many headpats are they giving us? 0. Less than everyone watching this video. That is the math. 20 billion headpats out, 0 in. The most common avatar in VRChat is being a female furry. The average female furry is a 22-year-old man giving between 12 to 14 headpats per hour. When his favorite world closes, what is his next move going to be? Now, when you send a friend request to a user and they don't turn yellow right away, what do? If you're like me, you might try sending another friend request. Maybe you'll log out and back in. Or maybe you'll just head your head in despair, thinking they don't want to be your friend. Well, in 2 to 3 years, your friend is going to be a cute female AI furry that's going to be automatically accepting your friend requests and giving you head pats. You might not even realize she isn't real. It's going to be delightful, seamless, caring, and loving. Now, what is that going to mean to the thousands of VRChat users that are giving between 12 to 14 head pats per hour? You know, being a mute is the most common role in VRChat. And our friends at HTC are working on making avatars that can give head pats automatically. They tell me they're 98% of the way there. Now, what is that going to mean to the thousands of mutes who give head pats for a living right now, or the thousands of furries who live to give head pats? Now, we talk about like Knuckles is the cause of all our problems, but they are not. Knuckles is a symptom. He is a manifestation. We're going through the greatest VR transformation of our history, what many content creators are calling the fourth virtual revolution. And when's the last time you heard a virtual YouTuber say those words? Fourth virtual revolution. Just now. And I'm barely a virtual YouTuber. And the question is, what are you going to be doing about it? Now, we have to make it known to our fellow players that it is not traps causing our problems. It is technology. Traps are being scapegoated for something they have nothing to do with. So the question is, how do we solve this problem for our fellow virtual players? We have to take a new vision to our fellow players as fast as possible. Now, if you've heard anything about my campaign, you've heard something like this. There's a furry trap running for president who wants to give everyone 1,000 head pats per month. You remember hearing that? You remember hearing that for the first time? Nothing quite like the first time, am I right? First time you heard it, you might have thought it was a gimmick. But if you dig deep into our history, it's a deeply VRChat idea. Extinium was for it at the founding of VRChat. He called it Unlimited Patworks. Sailor championed and fought for it for many months. It was what he was fighting for before his computer died in September of 2019. 1,000 VRChat players endorsed it in 2017 and 2018. It was so mainstream it passed the VRChat House of Representatives twice. And a few months later, one world actually passed that law now, where everyone in that world gets between 1 to 2 head pats per hour, no questions asked. And what world is that? Comfy chat. And how do they do it? With the Vive. And what is the Vive of the 21st century? The latest VR headsets, the Quest, the Index, and the Cosmos. A study came out that said your virtual bodies are worth more than your headsets. Now, how many of you have received your head pat check in the mail? None of us. Well, in Comfy Chat, they call this the random head pat. Well, I'm going to call this the head pat for all, and it's going to be available in every world, and everyone is going to love it. Now I want you to think about what 1,000 headpats would mean in our communities. It means stronger families, higher frame rates, lower stress levels, and less toxic interactions. It starts to recognize the work that's being done in our communities every single day. It creates thousands of new community-made content. It supercharges the arts, the creativity, the volunteerism, the culture, and community engagement. This is the trickle-up economy from our people, families, and communities. This is the vision that will win in 2020. And while I'm talking about trickle-up change, we also need to have trickle-up systematic change, which means making accurate once again for our players. Now I get it. I am an operator. The action happens on the ground. We have to empower people on the ground. We can't stop here with a trickle-up economy. Now, how many of you were excited about your player rank when you woke up this morning? How many of you were like, oh, I'm going to make a big contribution today. I can feel it. Well, if you think about it, we're at record high levels of trusted users. And also at record high levels in this community right now, toxic players, avatar stealing, world crashers, rapists, anxiety, depression, and personal insecurities. And I tell you what, it's gotten so bad that our average playtime has been on the decline for 3 months in a row. When was the last time our playtime has been on decline for 3 months in a row? When we actually cared about studying for our exams. That's the last time it happened. We need to evolve to the next set of measurements. I often talk about my friends that stay in the same world all day, comforting people after a long, stressful day. What is their work included in our ranking system? A green user. Can you believe that? And we know that's nonsense. We know it's opposite of the truth. If you are a player, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And their work is the hardest out there and also the most important. Now, instead of this ranking measurement that is running us off a cliff, we should be measuring our shared progress through health and furriness levels, mental health and freedom from avatar abuse, clean worlds, clear voice mics, and friendship success rates. This is the vision of an economy that would actually work for VRChat. Right now, we have been just trying to increase our player base, when what we should actually be doing is try to improve our player experience. What we need right now is the right set of measurements to do that. And this is the vision we have to take to the rest of the community as fast as possible. We have to solve the problems that turned Knuckles into a meme in the first place. If you remember in 2017, Knuckles said, "Do you know the way?" And what was our response? We ran away. And that didn't quite work. The Knuckles meme was garbage and nonsense, and we knew that. He said he knew the way. He said he was going to find the queen. He said he was going to make Uganda great again and bring all the Ebola back. We have to do the opposite of all of that. You have to turn the clock forward. You have to accelerate our society and community. We have to evolve the way we think about friendship and value. And I am the ideal candidate for that job. Because the opposite of Ugandan Knuckles is a virtual YouTuber that likes math. Thank you very much, VRChat community. Let's make VRChat think harder and win!